Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another day of Vlogmas here on my channel. Today, the winter is showing, there's snow outside, and I could go through a little bit, but today's video is going to be from my streaming studio, and I'm going to do some sort of like coaching video. So stay tuned for that, and let's get into it. So, when you think coaching video in disc golf, you might think form technique tips or something, and that's not what this is going to be about. It's going to be more of like training principles, so things that you want to apply to make your field work more effective. And this is something that I have played around with a lot and that I have found is effective. So I've got three training principles, and you want to definitely stick around for the last one because that's completely new to the disc golf world, and I think it's going to be an absolute game changer for a lot of you guys and for me as well. But let's just get into it. The first one is going slow. And obviously this is something that has been talked about a lot in the disc golf world, especially lately actually. But I wanted to give my own take on it because I have some experiences with it, I believe. Why would you want to go slow? I think basically in every single sport, every single whatever you want to practice, going slow is important when you're learning new stuff because you can make it more perfect but slow, and then you can speed it up faster. Where I think people are making a mistake when teaching to go slow and practicing is that people will say, just do a one step, just do a standstill, because it's easier, right? And it makes sense, but if you're doing a standstill, you're practicing a standstill. And I have experience, I tried to go back to a standstill and try and work one step on at a time, but I found it really difficult to translate my new skills that I have learned from a standstill to the next step and the next step and the next step. Instead of doing a standstill and trying to work out from there, try doing the entire thing, but just do it slower. If you're used to doing a 4-step run-up, you should do a 4-step run-up, but do it in what feels like slow motion. But here is why in general you want to go slower. Disc golf is a complicated throw, alright? Let's look at this slow-mo. Look at how many things are happening here. By the way, I'm sorry about my bad form, but right here, okay, so we're already 3 steps in now, and we're on to the X step. My disc here needs to be kind of around above my left foot, something like that. My shoulders they're too far back already here, but they need to start turning backwards here while I take my right foot out into my brace position and turning back my hips at the same time. See what's going on here. Boom. You can see already here, I'm trying to do too many things. Now I'm not going slow here. I'm going fast, and that's kind of showing the issue. So because I'm going fast and I'm not really my form isn't perfect, it's hard to get the timing right on the different things. So here actually it's easier to see if you go a little bit earlier. Look at this here. My arm is extended already. My foot should be down at the same time as my arm is extended. That's just one thing, or two things that need to be combined. My hips are turned back, that's fine, but I haven't planted my foot yet. It's like I tried to do too many things in too little time. So we get to this point, and all of a sudden, everything is like being pushed into each other, and I'm compacting it a weird way. I'm not even pulling the disc yet, like for reals. I'm just kind of starting to turn my body into the shot while getting my weight onto this foot. So where I'm really starting my throw or my pull is like here, because I did try. By the way, look at that hug face, beautiful. I tried to do too many things in too little time. The principle with going slow is to like pull out this little window. The window, say the window is like this, and you want to do 5 important timing things in this window. By going slow, you can pull it out to maybe this, and you'll have more time to work on each little part of the throw. So that's gonna be my first tip. Go slow. It's very simple. Just feel like you're going in slow motion, film yourself, because you'll be surprised by how fast you're still going when you feel like you're going in slow motion. That's a real thing. I've tried it on myself. Tip number 2. Tip number 2 is when you go do field work, take only 10 discs with you and throw 10 discs at a time, and then take your time with every single shot, and like don't rush it. Don't try to just get in repetitions all the time, but actually go out, get the discs, maybe throw them back again, that's fine, and then recover, do 10 discs again. The reason behind that, and this is a mistake I have made a lot. I used to always take like 35 drivers out to the field and throw them because I was like, I need to get repetitions in. I need to get my body used to doing this motion. But disc golf is an explosive movement. So your body is not used to doing explosive movements over and over again. If you want to use the explosive part of your muscles, you're gonna wear yourself out much faster than if it was like a sustained motion like running. You can run for 3 hours. 3 hours? I can't. Maybe you can. Magnus? Go check out Magnus. He's a runner. But I can run for 3 minutes and not get tired yet, because it's not an explosive movement. It's more of like a sustainable movement. Disc golf, you want to be as explosive and fast as possible, and that wears your muscle or that part of your muscles out much quicker. So that's one part. The other thing is, when you just throw and throw and throw and throw like 35 times, you're gonna get more and more tired, and it's gonna break down your energy, and your form is gonna get worse and worse, and your thing you're working on is gonna start looking more and more like your old bad habits. That's my experience. So instead of, it's actually true that you want to change your muscle memory and build up repetitions, but if you do too many at a time, you're gonna do repetitions on your old bad habits. So instead of getting 500 good, solid, new form repetitions in, you're gonna get maybe, let's say, 200 good ones, and then 1,300 repetitions of your old bad habits. What's your body gonna learn? The same as always. So that's something that I have learned is a big problem for me, and I need to really make sure, and that's why you film it too, make sure that it looks as it feels, because you can easily feel like you're doing the right thing, but if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and the details are so small, obviously, you're gonna make mistakes that you don't even see yourself. So that was number 2. It's quite simple, but I do believe it's really important, and it's gonna change and make your field work much more efficient. Now, for this third one, I'm gonna go to another clip, another angle. So here we have it. Tip number 3. This one is going to be completely new to the disc golf world, and I do not understand why, because I think it's going to be so important, especially for coaches as well. Overthrow, Josh, you're going to love me after this. I have learned this from working with a professional golf coach back in the days when I played a lot of golf. Third tip, always put down some sort of a stick or something straight on the ground in front of you when throwing and point it towards the basket. And there are multiple reasons why this is extremely important. First of all, everything in the backhand throw, basically everything, is a straight line. We always talk about the straight line. You want to run up in a straight line towards the basket. You want to have the disc back and the reach back away, like directly away from where you want to release it on that straight line. When you pull it, you want to always pull it on a straight line. Basically, the perfect form is a straight line. And why would you not want to have a visual on the ground that you can relate to when trying to throw on a straight line? Basically, look at this throw here. Okay, this is in slow motion. I get up to this point. By the way, this is pointing, obviously, right around the left post of this goal, and that's where I want to throw. And I have something visual on the ground, so I know that I should run up approximately perpendicular to this thing and brace right around here. That's my plan. So when I know that I'm gonna brace here, I know that the disc is going to travel exactly on the line of the driver optimally, because that's just how a disc golf throw works, right? So now when I'm standing here, not only can I run perpendicular to this thing, that's one thing. Other than that, when I'm standing here, I'm not doing it right now, but I will when I practice my reach back. I want this disc, if my brace is here, my disc is going to want to be here, right over the top of the driver head, the golf driver head. If it starts there on my peak reach back, it's going to have the perfect place to move from if it wants to go exactly towards the basket. So that's going to be my release point right here, and that's going to be my starting point. It's a straight line, and I have something that I can relate to when I stand there and look down. It's going to be so much easier to actually hit the point that you're trying to hit. And this is so important too. Analyzing your form is one of the hardest things and one of the most important things when trying to improve, obviously. So right now I can see I'm fully reached back here. This thing should be over my driver head. And I actually thought that the reason why, okay, I'll just show you the throw actually. I'm yanking it way to the right. It's going all the way out there. It's supposed to start towards that post. And I'm yanking it way out there. And that's a general problem that I have, is when I have bad form or like hit a bad shot, I will be yanking it to the right. But let's get back to this. Right here, I actually thought it was because I was reaching this hand too far out here to the left, well, away from me, so that the straight line towards the, or the straight line across my body would be this way. And it is that to like a little bit, but it's actually still not even on the, it's not even over the driver, it's behind it. And I thought it was out here. And I can see that because I have a driver on the ground. It's actually because I'm leaned too far back. I have all my weight, like my center of gravity right here is like here. And I want it to be maybe here. So I want to lean more forwards. So that's what I can learn from this. These things are so hard to see if you don't know exactly where the disc was supposed to be. You can, like, let's go back to this picture. This reach back doesn't seem bad. This seems like a good position to throw. But I know that my disc should have been farther forward, but my shoulder should have been even more forward for it to be over the top of this thing and for it to be thrown on this line. So my tip is get that stick or that drive or whatever it is on the ground when you're filming yourself, especially when you're filming from behind your throw, because that's when you can really see that straight line and where you're deviating from it. That's gonna be it for me today. If you guys don't believe in these 3 tips, or maybe you just want to see it applied, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, as I'm gonna do a YouTube series on this channel over the winter where I try to apply these 3 tips to my fieldwork sessions, and we're gonna see how many meters I'm gonna be able to put on that backhand throw and how good my form is gonna be by the end of the winter. I have high hopes, and I believe that this is gonna change everything for me. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and press that like button if you found this any useful, or if you just want to support me. And go ahead and subscribe over on Magnus's channel. I actually said channel. And he's gonna post a new video of Vlogmas tomorrow. So go make your fieldwork sessions more efficient and tell me about the stories or how you get improvement from this if you do. I would love to hear about it. That would be encouraging. And I'll see you guys in exactly 2 days.